What's up, everybody? Welcome. I'm just playing random people. Alright. We are playing the randoms. Yeah, let's do it. There it is. The world's most popular opening. Jabava attack. I've got a challenge. Jabava attack. Yes, and I get this a lot, this knight f3. Yeah, I guess I'm supposed to play c5. g4 is the sharper move for white there. I'm very happy with this repertoire with black. I've consistently gotten good games. But ironically, it ends up being like pretty solid for white. It's kind of funny. I wouldn't think of the Jabava London as being something you play for like, you know, its solid nature. Interesting. Alright, I don't know why I'm not pushing this pawn. Can't say I ever had this exact position before. I have to adjust the air conditioner. It's air conditioner, whatever, fan blowing right on me. That doesn't feel very pleasant. Alright, so now knight h5. Weird idea. Why am I playing this? I don't know. I've never had any Jabava London be exactly like this. This is kind of weird. I got two challenges now in the challenge hopper. Prung Schism and Cedarly Pith. Prung Schism. Bruxism. So, alright, I just wanted to get in e5. Looks like this guy's pretty good. I'm playing a random. Yeah, not too many games there, bud. 100 games. Guys, I'm playing casual 5 plus x, where x is a number between 1 and 5. For those of you who really love your algebra. We have a variable. It's x, it's the increment, and it has to be between 1 and 5. That includes 5 plus 1, 5 plus 2, 5 plus 3, 5 plus 4, 5 plus 5. You know, while I'm at it, wow, a4. Play on the queen side, why not? While I'm at it, I mean, why do we have increments that are just like whole seconds? You know, why not like half-second increments? Crazy, huh? 5 plus 1.5. Why draw the line at just whole numbers? What's that? b4, the first really strange move by my opponent. Although, you know, objectively, it's probably not so bad. I could take a pawn. Things are getting kind of tactical over there. My king is sort of open. Gazebo chess. Gazebo chess. Oh, that's weird. No, something just popped up in my mind. The guy from New Orleans, Jude Acers. And this guy is Dr. Tension. Jude Acers actually didn't play in the World Senior. But now that I think about it, I feel like his name was on the list originally. He wasn't in the list of American players when I played at the World Senior, but now that I think about it, going back, he's like 80, and he was on the list originally. So he must have planned to play and then changed his mind. Things come up when you're 80, you know. hope I'm still alive when I'm 80. I mean, it's not easy, but I wouldn't mind. Weird player, this placebo chess, huh? Position is pretty much close to equal, and it has been. My downstairs neighbors are like, they've been refurbishing their apartment for like 8 months now. It's getting kind of annoying. Hopefully my mic doesn't pick it up though. This mic is pretty good about not picking up outside noises. It's just annoying for me, you know, because we're trying to concentrate. Queen b3 doesn't look very good. Because if I go to e6, then he has stuff. He has the same stuff. He wants to play queen b2. I see. So we can't have everything. I'll tell you what we'll do. We will put more pressure on your b4 pawn. I see your little plan. And I raise you pressure on your b pawn. You want to go queen b2. That's the idea. To pivot, you know, queen b3, queen b2, and attack my e5 3 times. Well, it's defended 3 times prophylactically. And now I'm attacking your nugget on b4 a 3rd time. So take that. Placebo chess. What did you do? That is a free pawn. It's still not a free pawn, huh? It's almost a free pawn. Bishop b4. Rook e8 is possible. So close to a free pawn. It's not. It looks like it's just a trade. White's probably okay. So random 1900, but in games he has very few games. 2180 rapid, that's a very good rating. Do you have any way to not let him win back the pawn here? Combo. Wow, that's actually a problem. That is a problem. Bro. Alright, we have a problem, Houston. Wow. I might have just lost. Lost in exchange. This is crazy. Wow, what a move. 1900. So I can lose the exchange. Do I get any compensation for it? Knight takes e5, bishop takes b4. Queen somewhere. And he's so secure. All of his pieces are secured. Bishop takes c3. Knight takes c6. That's the problem. He's got all these tricks at the end. Bishop takes c3, knight takes c6. Queen c5, knight takes b8. Your rook's hanging, my rook's hanging. This is not really a moment for thinking. Very lucky I didn't lose a piece there. should be able to draw. It's not easy, but 4 and 3 on the king side, equivalent material. It should be drawable. F4. That's a pretty crazy move right there. You know, leaving your bishop on prees. That's borderline insane in the membrane. Yeah, I was thinking let's mess up his pawns. Knight takes e4. Let's see, rook takes. Yeah, this guy seems awfully good. I didn't realize I'm still down a pawn. Rook e5 is a really bad move. Thinking I'm not down a pawn here. Pretty stupid thing to do. Oh, you have that. Yeah, this is a very strange account. It's a draw. I imagine this is where we'll see like his real skill level start to kick in, you know. Masterful performance in rook and 2 versus rook and 1. Playing for time. Wow, got me, dude. You got me. Oh. Oh. Where his age is 12 or under. This is a waste of time. No player over 1800 can lose this position. It's a huge waste of time. At least they were kind enough to offer draw. They don't play for a win with rook versus rook. This is my first game of the day. What's up, Mr. Coffee? Opponent? Just over 100 games. He was winning for a move or two. Jesus Christ, dude. That's your first game against me. Yesterday, for example, he was 2-9. I guess they're casual games, huh? That's my first game. Okay. Well, Master Strength 1900. Very interesting. Yeah, well, I mean, whatever. I mean, thank God it's not rated. Short stream today, guys. Just over an hour. What's this knight f3 crap? You know, if you play Anonymous Blitz, oh, I played that too. If you play Anonymous Blitz, rarely do you get a lot of d4. e5. How does it work? e5, take, bishop takes. It's interesting. Try to sacrifice a pawn here. I don't know if it works or not. Well, okay, the traditional thing to do is like knight g4 or whatever. Of course, that's known. You know, you can play knight g4, you can play knight fd7. It's a little better for white. But if I take, the argument would be white's a little loose. You know, like takes, knight takes, pin him. You know, so let's take, queen takes, yeah. So the thing is, like, black has this strange sort of compensation that I think that people maybe never really noticed, you know, till we started using computers. There was this Kramnik game where he was white against some Italian grandmaster. Who's the strongest Italian GM? Can't remember. Anyway, oops, I hung another pawn. And now if you look at the position, you're like, wait a minute. Yeah. I get it. Like, black has massive compensation. Oh, how's your queenside development coming along? Not very good. So I think, actually, after d5 to e5, white's supposed to play like knight to c3 or something. You know, Kramnik has some move. He played c2 is a goner or not. Interesting. I agree. Well, like bishop f5, knight a3. If I play knight e4, I have endearing compensation. Endearing. Bishop f5, knight a3. Really? a5 is interesting. I'm probably stupid. Yeah, we're gonna see another like perfect game by white though. He's 2150. Another serious player. The 2150 I accept, playing close to master level. Okay. He does not defend the pawn. Though objectively maybe he should. Now what do I do? Go back. Go back. Bishop e4 is overrated. Or not? . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . So what? It's like equal at the end of this, approximately. I don't know. Knight h4 isn't good. This doesn't seem to change a lot. Sir, change a lot. And now I have to take. So what do we do? We have a tactic. Yeah, knight takes knight e4 was too strong. This guy plays perfect games and then loses on time every time we play. I don't care anymore. Rook c1. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. I should trade the bishops, I guess. But how? Go passive. When in doubt, go passive, man. Take with a knight. Wow, he doesn't take. He plays e3. Holy shit. What is that, like the engine number 1 move? Wow. So I'm losing a pawn now? Looks that way. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. Okay, dude. Whatever. Every single opponent I play is like a master or I am or something. It's so weird, dude. List. Yeah, list. That's a command. That's a definite command. I'm tired of playing this player, dude. Every single game is the same bullshit where they play perfectly and the only way they lose is by losing on time. Chinese Kramnik. Where does this account come from? You know? They're never on my streams. They just appear when I play on Fridays. Maybe it's just because it's a morning stream. I don't normally do morning streams. Yeah, I used to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. What? Wow, that took some calculation. Look at this. That's like playing a computer. You just played a computer. The fuck is the point of cheating against me with a computer? You play a good game. Get out of here, dude. Play a good game. Play like a goddamn computer. I had one chance. I had 94. And still, overall, your average cent upon loss is better than most people's over-the-board games. I wouldn't trust you as far as I could throw you. Whatever, dude. I don't know if you're cheating or not, man, but I'm sorry. You're just here too infrequently. It's too suspicious. So tired of that guy. Bye. tired of the drama of suspecting people after like the 8th game I played with them. The last 3 times he lost, he was like played perfect games and lost on time, or something like that. That's why his score is bad against me, because he just like loses winning positions on time or something. Every single game I've ever played against him was suspicious, to be honest. But, you know, you can't be sure. It's like, I'm not going to waste my time worrying about it anymore. Just ban them, if they're even close to suspicious. Why do I waste my time, you know? He's like, no, I'm a subscriber. I don't care. Exactly my game with Wojtkiewicz 25 years ago. If you could play that well, why aren't you 2550 or 2600? It doesn't make sense, you know. My rating is 2550. That's my legit like Blitz rating. You know, arguing with some anonymous people. Exactly. I'm not gonna waste my time. If there's even the slightest question that you're legit, I'm gonna ban you. No more even thinking about it. What's up, Jim? And you know, I make these decisions based on not in a vacuum. There's like 7 or 8 games against people I've played. You know, generally, I've suspected this guy before, you know, and he talked me out of it. But it's just too many games. Too many games you play to computer. Like, yes, he was losing for one move. If I find a perfect move, but people they're cheating in a very tricky way. You know, they're not playing perfect moves. They're smart enough to not do that. Now he has a tactic here. Some Prism playing d4. Really? d4. No, I don't know. I just never get positions I like. Very strange. What's that? You know what Sun Prism's problem is? He's too solid. Solid to a fault, where, you know, he's developed the uber solid. But he'll even go a little bit passive. Okay, we have to have a style. Everyone has a style. Now, is he worse here? Or is he better? Computer will say he's better. But he's not a computer, I hope. Congratulations about amazing game I had over the board tournament. With the move Queen H1. Yeah. That was against Duong from Canada. Yeah, I didn't see it at first. It was funny. It was very thematic, but it wasn't planned. You know, I was sitting there. Like, I saw the other queen move, but... And there should be something here, you know? He beat me in 1989. No, he claimed 1990. I thought it was 1989. Because I thought I wasn't a master yet. According to his claim, yeah, maybe it's possible. If I played him in 1990 in November, I could have lost to him when I was like 2180 or something like that. So I had to get revenge for this game that I played 35 years ago, Jim. That's always satisfying. 35 years old revenge is a very satisfying thing. He's close to my age, a couple years older, and so when we played at the National Chess Congress, I believe It could have been the World Open, though. I don't know. My memories are unreliable. We played in Philadelphia in 1990, he said. I thought it was 89. It's in the database, actually. I think it's in the database. It might be in the database. But it might not. I thought I saw it in the database before. Oh man, it's been a while. So when I said 1989, he said, no, we played in 1990, and I became a master in 1990, but not until around my birthday, which was very late 1990, so like December. I was definitely under 2200 when I lost to Duang. And he beat me with a Trumpowski. It was d4, knight f6, bishop g5. Man, everybody is tough. Honestly, if that last opponent hadn't started raging about me accusing him of being suspicious, I wouldn't have banned him, because I'm not sure if he's a computer or not. But just to, like, a note to people who might be computers, if you start denying an accusation I haven't even made yet, I'm definitely going to ban you. This is a very strong sign of guilt, when they're very defensive immediately. Like, I'm revenge. He's a nice guy. He's a really nice guy. Duang from Canada. He played a couple times in the World Senior. Yeah, he seemed really bummed when he lost to me because he was having a decent tournament and he had been pretty solid. But he had held against some stronger players. This Dutch guy, a pretty strong Dutch IM. The Dutch IMs are a little overrated, in my opinion. Knight takes. I'm gonna go to dentistry school after this. So Prism is just improved. He's a freaking rock. What if I played Rook B8? Why not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Have you counted your children lately? Rook B8 isn't great. It's just a temporary thing. Right. So this didn't change anything. Or did it? Maybe it did. We shall see. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time to play, guys. I have an hour. Yeah, World Senior was fun. Though I lost horribly in round 3. Jim, I was lost in 7.5. No, I was lost in 7.5 games. I was lost in 8 out of 11 games for at least one move. So I decided to play. Rennie, yeah, unfortunately losing to Mikuleski didn't help me in the last round with the rating. I was up like 15 points, but then I lost back like 6, so 5. I'll get back 9 rating points. And I achieved my yearly goal of beating a Grandmaster, which was really, really by a thread, because I got to round... I played 9 rounds without playing a... No, I played 9 rounds without playing a GM. I had 2 games left to beat a GM this year, and I managed to beat Darcy Lima, my best game, which was my best game of the tournament. The game against Duong was pretty good, but he isn't as strong, of course. So my goal was, since COVID, I've beaten one Grandmaster every year since the COVID pause. 4 years in a row, I've beaten one GM. And this year I played no GMs until around 10 of the World Scene. I'm like, shit, I'm running out of games. And I managed to win, you know. He did the same thing he did against me 2 years ago. He was slightly better. No, he was equal. He was equal, thought he was slightly better when he was really equal, and then lost. I'm so sorry. No. I get it. I totally get it. How do I do this? How do I do this? This is awkward. Oh, I see what I could do. Wait, what does that do? Chess is hard, then you die. I know it's not a big deal, but I just wanted to reach my goal of beating a Grandmaster every year. Well, the game against the Canadian guy was that really dry, of course, the very dry, you know, boring attack that they do on the white side of the fianchetto, which, you know, even I have played. I played against Dishman, something similar last year. Yeah, this is kind of awkward. How much time do I have here to construct the construct? The construct. Oh, shit. It's a draw now. Damn, dude, this guy is improving. Is it a draw? Are you sure? I'm not sure. Wow, this pawn is pretty strong. Damn. I'm not sure this is a draw. That wasn't the plan, obviously. Where? Weremaster? Werewolf. Oh no. Should I go now? Yeah. No? D3? Oh. I'm queening with check. I can't worry about that. He has rook d5, d2, rook d5. Unbelievable. brutal. Impactful. Really? Oof. Wow, what a game. Everybody's a genius. It was a draw apparently, but he has to play very carefully. Wow. I was winning when I hung the pawn, and then it's a draw. But still, he has to play accurately. D3 is a mistake. I should have played rook a1. I thought about this for a long time. No, I guess I thought on the next move. No, I thought about this. Rook a1, rook g6. All right. Mr. Slow is here. I got challenges from some. No rated. None of that now. No rated. What's up, guys? I'm sorry I can't stay longer. I just have 45 minutes, so however many games I can play in 45 minutes. It doesn't have to be 5 plus 5. You can challenge me to 5 plus 1. Whatever. That was a tough game. Sun Prism actually beat him. Wow, he's getting really tough. It's impossible to beat you guys. A lot of Oh, God. The Evans. Captain Evans. Oh, no. What am I going to do? I always mess up here. Queen b3, queen d7. You know what I always mess up? Like, if they castle, am I supposed to play knight f6? I think so. I had a game like this a few days ago. What's that about? Knight d4. Is this a real thing? I guess. Did I have blundered? This is normal, isn't it? Is this something new? It must be something new. Mr. So is always pretty up to date with the new opening ideas. And my Evans is like nobody plays the Evans, so don't know about this. We take with the pawn, and I am scared. Everybody's strong. Arturas is watching. Zen Chess is here. The Butcher's Vassal. No. We played Placebo Chess, who I narrowly drew. Why is everybody so goddamn good? Imagine if I played people my own rating. I would get, like, destroyed. Okay, you know, I'll be honest. Like, okay, here's my excuse. But seriously, streaming is a huge disadvantage. If I'm just playing Blitz, one-on-one, without having to talk about it and stuff, I'm much stronger. Talking is, like, distracting. And honestly, I don't play as well. I really don't. You know, it's true. So that's my disclaimer. My game isn't as good as if I was just focusing on playing. That's why I'm really not as good when I'm playing, when I'm, you know, like trying to talk about the games and stuff. All right. it's true. We shouldn't underestimate the importance of that, you know. But whatever. The important thing is that you guys and I learned something. Um, if I accuse you guys of being suspicious or something, just ignore me, you know. Because if you say, like, I'm not a cheater, that makes you that much more suspicious. That's why I banned that other guy. You know, honestly, that's the first sign that they really are cheating. The denial. If you have nothing to hide, you don't you don't need to say anything. I mean, that's a very bad sign. All right, Mr. Slow. Knight f6, rook d1. Okay, so I'm going to develop my pieces. This is some kind of super new Evans Gambit cutting edge stuff here. Mr. Coffee, you're banned. Seriously, I didn't even officially accuse the guy, you know, and immediately he's starting with the, I'm not cheating. That's a that's guilt. That shows guilt, you know. Not the first time. I banned the winner of Tuesday's tournament, Mr. Coffee. Very masterful, you know, at cherry picking engine moves. But I'm not a believer, you know. When I play someone and I feel something, I'm usually right. And the problem is, you know, Hans and all that stuff, and of course Naroditsky and Kramnik. But the problem is, dude, we live in a world where we're playing chess online and there's no controls at all. You know, there's no cheating controls at all. It's an honor system. We're playing on the honor system. Chess on the honor system where anyone can cheat. It's the Wild West, you know? It would be totally naive to be like, no one, you know, we can't accuse people of cheating. I mean, yeah, the AIM girl. Yeah, guy. Another factoid. People who are like, you know, gender catfish are much more likely to cheat than non-gender catfish, in my opinion. If you're willing to lie about your gender and pretend to be another gender, you're much more likely to cheat. You're seriously, you're much more likely to be a chess cheater when you lie about your gender or pretend to be another gender. I've noticed a huge correlation there. You know, almost everyone who's pretending to be a woman who's a guy is oftentimes cheating. Yeah, I mean, title players. I mean, there may be some theory that title players cheat less, but their motivation to cheat is actually higher because they're playing like these stupid online tournaments and stuff. And there may be some truth to that, but it's not like statistically that big a difference, you know? I think the difference statistically in title players cheating less is probably very small, you know? Yeah. Title players are 5% less likely to cheat than non-title players or something, you know. It's almost statistically, you know, irrelevant. Yeah, Kamsky. But, you know, the problem is the structure. You know, we can't be playing chess online and having tournaments for money or other prizes where there's no controls. And let's not pretend that, like, Lichess, like, catches a lot of, or puts a lot of infrastructure into, like, catching cheaters, dude. And even the evil chess cheese.mom site, for sure cheese.mom tries to catch cheaters, but on the other hand, they probably don't put the resources they could into it, you know. So it's just a nightmare. I mean, it's a nightmare. That's why I don't like to play rated on the stream. That's why I would never play an online tournament. I mean, it's just hopeless. Imagine, like, I don't know, going to an over the board tournament and not like checking people for electronic devices now. Well, the Forbidden website has money. They have so much money coming out of their ears that you know, it would be a shame if they didn't put more into the infrastructure. They're a for-profit site, so of course they have to put more money into it. I'm getting distracted again. Okay, roll them. All I'm saying is, like, they probably they cut corners too. You know what I mean? Cheese.mom makes more money than most chess sites, if not every other chess site in the world of any kind. You know, any chess related website, they make more money than any other chess related website. But they probably don't put the money that they could into, you know, catching cheaters. In general, maybe only for their special tournaments or whatever. If you play just like generic games, I mean, whatever. No. I actually hate having this conversation, but I have to. It has to come up every day, every week. You know, and I'm gonna falsely accuse people, and there's no way around it. There's no way around it. You know, I don't like Kramnik, and I don't like his way of going about his business. But the bottom line is, in order to catch cheaters, you're gonna have to catch some. You're gonna falsely accuse some people, and that's why there's people in jail who are innocent. You know, it happens in the real world too. And we want to try to make that as little as possible. Dude, chess peak for itself. You have no games, man. I simply don't accept challenges from people with no games. I don't care if you're the butcher's, you know, assistant or whatever. But we have a simple rule here. You have 100 rated games, and I'll accept your challenge. If you don't, I don't. It's not personal. Next time, if you have 100 rated games, I'll play you. But I have to draw the limit somewhere. We have to have some sort of rules. It's a rules. I was thinking the other day, like religion causes so many problems, right? But religion is... We can have philosophical discussion about religion, but I mean, at the end of the day, what is religion basically about? It's about creating a system of rules, like morality. Now, you could argue that it's not about that; it's about something else. But it's there, basically. The fundamental purpose of religion is to, like, you know, create a set of rules so people don't, like, freaking murder each other and stuff. You know. So-called morality, religion fills this void, you know, to give us a sort of set of rules so we don't go around, you know, murdering each other like the son of Sam or whatever. We're just not, like, murdering every person on the street randomly. And religion helps us to kind of find a rules-based system. But here we have, like, the question of cheating in chess. I think I made a mistake there. Please, I was waiting a lot. Dude, my stream is only like an hour and a half, and it's almost over. You obviously haven't been to the mayor's office in Budapest lately. When I was waiting to get my driver's license, or Disney World, you know, for that matter, Yeah, this is not waiting a lot. This is very minor. Yeah, there's some fans of this guy, the Butcher. By the way, Butcher, very highly controversial name. What's that about? Right? That's the nickname of the guy who was convicted of genocide or whatever. That's kind of bad, you know. Milosevic or whatever his name was. He was the Butcher. One of those like war crime guys. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I mean, I think that's kind of weird. Rook e8 is a bad move. We can live with that. Let's call ourselves the Butcher. No connotations there or anything. Alright, bishop takes f5. Rook d7. That's a pass pawn. The candlestick maker, that could be offensive too. I like that. Yeah, but I mean, it's bad taste to call yourself the Butcher when you're from Serbia. That's in bad taste. Alright, let's try 98. Yeah, I know other people mention his opening videos and stuff. I have another student who likes his stuff. I'm just commenting on his name as kind of controversial. Alright, let's go here. Rook b8. Mr. Slow is not resigning, but he's lost the thread. Now I have this poker playing friend who is an actual butcher. Now if he was an actual butcher as his like day job, then okay, I wouldn't be offended by his name. No, a lot of people haven't heard of him. And the problem is there's a very strong player with the same name. I know nothing about chess. Thanks, dude. I don't think I'm the one who knows nothing about chess. I think it's you. No, you. He just ignores the genocide thing. Did you notice that? What do you know about genocide? Eric Hansen. He's the coach of Eric Hansen. Give me a break, dude. I know nothing about chess. Yeah, of course. Chess started with Eric Hansen, who was like, I was an IM before he was born or something. You know, I mean, are you serious? What a joke, man. All right. You notice how they stay away from that genocidal thing. Probably a fan of Russia. Zen Chess? What's up? I think I'll name myself after a genocidal murderer. E4, E5. Good for the YouTube views. See, a lot of people didn't know that. Not this again. Mr. Coffee. No, Mr. Slow. That was kind of a weird game. You played something new there. And I rarely get the rarely get the Evans. So Mr. Slow is studying the Evans. What's that about? If you don't know about Eric Hansen and the Butcher, you don't know anything about chess. See, that's the problem with modern chess. I studied like all the world champions, Botvinnik. You know, I had lessons with Dvoratsky. Another strong grandmaster that I worked with. I don't know anything about chess. No, I don't know anything about like pulp fiction, you know, bullshit. I know the guy makes a lot of videos that's like coffee house bullshit openings and stuff. And he names himself after a murderer, but I don't know anything about chess. Maybe that's true. All right. Just another online con artist. I mean, Eric Hansen is not a bad player, and he basically is one of the first people who really popularized. He doesn't get enough credit. You know, Eric Hansen deserves credit. Way before Hikaru, you know, he was really the first person who was a legit chess streamer and living from it, you know. Hikaru sort of copied him or stole his initial concept and ran with it, you know. But you guys remember, I mean, Eric Hansen was more successful in the beginning. But, you know, he would hang out with these dubious characters. I don't think the Butcher is serious. He recommends a lot of garbage, and I really don't respect people like that. You know, I will say he might be better than Gotham Chess, but that's not really saying much. No, I mean, Eric Hansen deserves credit, you know. He deserves credit. And he's a little bit, you know, he's a very legitimately strong player. I have no problem with Eric Hansen. But, you know, these hangers-on or whatever. Whatever. His crewmates, I could care less about. He's like responsible for Botez, right? That's like disgusting. Promoting Botez and all that. Talk about Frankenstein. I haven't seen the new Frankenstein. I don't know. Alright, let's see. This is Enchess. This is a good player. He's a good player. He's not quite Eric Hansen, but he is good. Very closed position. There's a lot of pawns on the board. What's my time? Oh no. I have 23 minutes left. King G2? Really? Why King G2? That's why? So, what's the point? Too many pawns. Too closed. Well, Botez is forgotten. Is being forgotten. which is good. You know, it was only a matter of time. But yeah, there's nothing lasting there. It's just no real content. Um, One day the butcher's like sort of shady openings will be forgotten. But some things last. Saji lasts. I don't want to go here. And what about the queen side? You have a5. I mean b5 takes. I'll have to play knight b8. Knight d8 rather. The butcher's sister. Sister of butcher. F3. Yeah, I had a game like very similar to this with someone else recently. Oh, it was Sun Prism of all people. What a nuisance to protect my e6 pawn. Hard to break through. You know, I can't like directly break through. Maybe I have to think about a secondary break, like d5. But that's also like very hard to break. I don't think I can break through. Period. It sucks. Knight g8. Is there any kind of d5 there? Yeah, there is. But I just didn't see exactly where I go from there. You know, I do d5 and then he just sits there. If I play d4, my pawns are all gross too, you know. Yeah, exactly. No, d5 was the question. But if he doesn't take, the only way d5 is good is if he takes. And if he doesn't take, I have nothing. That's what it looks like, for sure. d5 is like a one-trick pony. It only works if he cooperates and takes on d5, you know, undoubling my pawns. Now this is the opposite. I don't think he should do that. He was better off doing nothing. I thought he was better off doing nothing. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this isn't so bad for him. We'll see. It's definitely not the safest tool in the shed. But, okay. You know, when it looked like he was playing safe at first, I thought he was trying to play safe and lock the position, but it turns out that wasn't necessarily what he was trying to do. Now, this other knight is an issue. What I need is to play knight f4 check. How do you play knight f4 check? I gotta watch my h5. Well, yeah, I don't think he's gonna be playing f4. This is easier to play for black. The way he fixed the queen side. Now he's like tied up over there. I could even play c6 or something. But I don't want to take that risk yet. I don't think I have to go to that length necessarily. It's like a King's Indian. But, I can't break through with just the pawns. I need to use these piece sacrifice ideas. Knight takes d5. If he tries to evacuate to the queen side, you know, I have a break. So the way he played this queen side doesn't look right at all. You know, I mean, he has frozen, though. He has frozen 4 of my pawns, basically. Maybe it's not so bad, but I can break out. You know, c6 is just whenever I want. Or maybe just sack a knight on d5. Bob, sack a knight. Guys, I have to just leave very soon. I'm sorry. So I'm not going to be able to play more than one more game. It looks like, Nefidov, Friday's not a good time to be late. Because I have very limited ability to play here. Unfortunately. I should have started earlier, but I can't wake up before the PM. I have, like, insomnia. Can't wake up before 12. I like my life better that way, though. I hate waking up in the morning. So he's just oblivious to this. Jen Chess, Freudian slip. My ex-wife. He missed knight f4 check. My only idea. That's not good. Oh, Naranyan, Arigasi's coach, was saying how Arigasi got knocked out of the Grand Prix, and he has weaknesses with, like, sense of danger or whatever. Like, don't we all? Sense of danger is, like, the single most important factor for a competitive player, probably. All right. All right. No, you gotta anticipate. You gotta anticipate knight f4, obviously. What time is it there for you guys? Zen Chess is in like Mountain Time, Central Time. It's very early. He's probably been up all night. The Birds, last game. Last game for today, guys. Thanks for 7:45. So, are you up early or up late? Obviously, you should have seen knight f4, because knight f4 and knight h4 are like my only ideas. Up early, okay. I feel for you, man. I don't want to be up early. Is this the polar bowler? Is this a polar bear? Yeah, but I don't think you should worry too much about h4, but I guess you have to now. That's true. Yeah, now that my knight is on g6, you actually have to worry about that. That's true. But your king should have been on a different square. If I had one criticism for the way you played that game, it would be your handling of your king position at the end, or near the end. You made a couple of king moves, but you never found a good square for your king. Your king needs to be in the right place. Not Pabu. How's my day? I like Fridays, but I hate mornings, so it's kind of... Oh. What's that? It's a Benko. Look, I'm playing the Benko. Someone didn't take their medication this morning. Oh, no. Oh, no. Heroku, seriously? Why don't you play like this in my simults? This is great. I love this. I like this Benko. He's on drugs. Maybe we'll have time for another game. Who would have thunk it? I will likely have time for another game. Crazy. Oops. I blundered. You shouldn't resign. Or maybe you should. Because he takes, queen takes check, knight d7, bishop g2. Okay, I have bishop g2 at the end. That's lucky. I had bishop g2 at the end, which hits your bishop on h5 and your rook on a8. So it was a reasonable resignation. That was awful. What was he doing? Nefedov left because he's too late. Knight owl 333. Owl knight. Okay, last game. You said it's your last game. Well, I thought so, but I didn't know the guy was going to lose in 5 moves. But anyway, you're like third on the list, Neffy. You wouldn't have made it. The guy who like told me I don't know anything about chess is challenging me again. Well, that's obviously a welcome challenge. It looks like Night Owl's not here, so we'll take Cheesy Noob. You still wouldn't have made it unless Cheesy Noob doesn't make it. You still wouldn't have made it, Nefedov. That's why I told you that. No, I wouldn't have said anything. I wouldn't have said your name if I had thought you had a chance. The Butcher Boy is back. I don't care that he likes the Butcher, but to tell me that I don't know anything about chess, bro. I mean, that's just... Why do you insult people and then like want to take part on their stream? It doesn't make a lot of sense. You should really think about your actions. You should think about your actions before you say something. I mean, really bad. You're a bad hombre. I know a thing or two. Yeah. I mean, we all suck compared to someone. Right? It's all relative. No, it's all social media. People are like, they're losing touch with morality. It's especially in America very bad, but apparently it's affecting, Serbia too. People, they voted for Donald Trump. They lost concept of reality. They don't have any sense of empathy or morality. They can just insult people. Just insult me, Like, you don't care. No, I played a player I was suspicious of on Tuesday. Then someone pissed me off because they're doubting my very legitimate claims. I became kind of enraged, and then I lost the game because I was distracted, and so I left. I mean, I didn't leave. I closed the stream and I stopped playing, but I watched the end of the tournament. And I banned the player who won the tournament pending the result of the last game. I wanted to be fair that I don't ban them just because of my game. And then they played what I consider to be a very, very suspicious game against Shockey in the last round. And if you check out the last round, Catfish versus Shockey, or Shockey versus Catfish, I think, you can agree that that account is really sus. I was pretty confident that I was right, so I banned them. But I was really just upset, and I didn't want to play because, I hung a piece against Kellart because I was just distracted. There's no sense in playing if I'm distracted, So I just didn't feel like playing anymore at that point. My first game was a win. That was a tough game against Sun Prism. Then that should have been a draw. In fact, I was even losing. He played really well. Then I had the draw with the fake account, which was frustrating. And then I was upset, and I just dropped the whole piece against Kellart because I was getting into this argument about whether people are cheating or not, and I just didn't feel like it anymore, so I quit. And watched the tournament. I was chatting with Asterbait in private messages while we were while we're watching the results. Um, I asked him if he wanted to bet on the result of the final game. You know. So, yeah, that was the story there. But it's okay. I'm allowed to show some emotion. You know, I feel like I haven't had enough emotion lately. I've had a lot of outbursts in the past, a lot of rage tilt. Lately, I haven't had a lot of rage tilts. AIM is, it's not, yeah, it's a FIDE thing. It's a FIDE money making scam. But the thing is, like, that player, I don't think that's even, it's not even real. It's bad enough when you're an AIM, but when you're like pretending to be an AIM, that's even worse, you know? What kind of person would like pretend to be a fake title? You know what I mean? Yeah, Asterbait likes to talk, and he's a very good listener. Um, so I was just talking to him. The fake arena IM, but also like a catfish. You know, I think they have like roses and flowers on their account, making it look like they're a female, implying that they're female, and a female name that doesn't exist if you look it up anywhere. Like, this isn't really a person. It's like a tribute account to some female celebrity or something. So, yeah, I was done with that. I mean, I've been suspicious of the account from the beginning, but what they were doing is like cherry picking moves, you know. They don't cheat in all games, and they don't cheat with all of their moves, but selectively choosing moves in certain spots. The way they lost to Shaki was, I mean, the way they beat Shaki was just like ridiculous, you know. I mean, they're completely lost after 19 moves, playing on their own, and then turn on the engine and just kill him. You know, it was very obvious to me. Poor Shaki. I mean, it's like, I felt bad to say this, but I was like, dude, I knew you were going to lose before the game even like started. No, like almost anyone who like pretends to be another gender is almost always cheating. If you're going to lie about your gender, why would you not cheat in chess, you know? I mean, kind of a similar thing. Lying is a way of cheating, isn't it? Essentially. So, someone who doesn't have the morality to be honest about their identity is much more likely to cheat than someone who's honest about their identity. Making up fantasies about who you are and stuff, you know, it's circumstantial evidence, in my opinion. Enough circumstantial evidence and you can convict someone for murder. I mean, that's the thing. The Zodiac killer. Mostly all circumstantial evidence. He was never convicted, though. But pretty much everybody agreed who it was. Yeah, don't trust anyone who like pretends to be like the other gender. That's very strange. They want attention. There are various motivations for that kind of thing. You know, they want attention. I think it's mostly about that. Cheesy Noob is totally lost. Not at his best today. I think another thing that happens is like if you pretend to be a woman and there are less women in chess, you might, you know, more easily get strong players to play against you, you know. So it's kind of a good trick in that sense. They wouldn't play against a guy, but they would play against a girl because they think you're a woman. They can flirt with you or whatever. So that's a motivation for people like catfishing in chess servers. And I think that's one of the reasons why someone tried to defend them. If it was a guy, like, no one would care. Oh, I think it's a woman. I'm going to defend that poor damsel in distress. Yeah. Well, not even. Not even. Anyway, speaking of morality, religion, and I gotta go. I am the master of morality. No, I'm just kidding. None of us are perfect, but all I can say is, like, if you have enough circumstantial evidence, then believe in it. You know, believe in your circumstantial evidence. In my life, one of the most important things that ever happened in my life, I didn't pay enough attention to the circumstantial evidence before it was like too late, you know, and it's important. It really is. You know, you don't have to have like a dripping murder weapon to have a fair amount of confidence that, you know, this is the murderer. The circumstantial evidence just kind of piles up, you know, and at some point you've got to be like, oh yeah, there's no way. There's just no way. Statistically, ask Mr. Coffee. He's an expert on statistics. There's no way, like, millions of circumstantial things pile up coincidentally, you know. Circumstantial evidence is not, it's not coincidental. All right, Cheesy Noob. It's not coincidental that Cheesy Noob is going to lose this game. Can you guess that I've been watching, like, real crime stories lately? I should have been a detective. He was just waiting to pull the trigger on that move. That rook b8. He was shadowing this guy all the time. Oh, I can take on c4, but then you have a trap. Yeah. You know, I could have just played bishop h4 here and just stick the bishop on f6. That was my original plan. Then I changed my mind. Wow. e6. I don't think he got the memo. Oh no. Not a big one on resigning. Well, why should he resign? He's only down a knight. Yeah, well, we need to get the rest of our pieces in here. I could lose, right? You're making me late for my work, Cheesy Noob. Oh, now I felt bad and resigned. All right, I gotta go, guys. Bogachog. True crime. Yeah, I had a dream about San Francisco because I watched the Zodiac. That was kind of cool. If you want to have really cool dreams, you want to watch true crime, like, before you go to bed. I'll see you guys later. Sunday Simul. Don't forget to be there. Thanks, everybody.